ToRaH Guardian, speaking the absolute truth. ToRaH Nation.
Shalom, 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 Yashar, Yahudah. Grafted in Gentiles into the body of HaMashiach Yahuwah. Yahuwah is wonderful. Yahuwah is wonderful. Listening to none other than HezekiYAH. It's a new year of praise, it's entitled. Now, I don't own the rights to this music. Holy, holy, holy is Yahuwah. Yahuwah is worthy of praise. He's worthy of glory. He's worthy of honor. He's worthy of dominion, power, and might. Yahuwah is holy. We magnify and glorify the name of Yahuwah. Yahuwah has a strong and mighty arm. He is our deliverer. Hallelujah. Abba Yahuwah, in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, I pray that you would take the reins of my lips and the reins of my tongue and reign. Abba Yahuwah, I pray that I would not cause anyone to stumble, anyone to be turned out of the way, and anyone to come up lame. Abba Yahuwah, I pray right now in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach that you would continue to burn the fire of the RUACH HaKodesh in me, that I may continue declare your Besorah and your ToRaH of truth in power. Abba Yahuwah, I do it because you're worthy of praise. I do it because you're worthy of worship. I do it because I've been instructed to do it. And in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, I want you to know you're holy. Abba Yahuwah, I give you praise right now for the power that you've given me. The keys to the kingdom. I give you praise, Yahuwah, for greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Abba Yahuwah, I take authority and bind demons and devils, the principalities and powers, rulers and wicked rulers of darkness and wicked rulers in high places. I bind indifferent spirits. I bind spirits of distraction. I bind spirits of perversion and lust. I bind spirits that are unclean, familiar spirits. I bind them over the children of Yahuwah. I bind them, Yahuwah, over those that you have chosen to be your people. Chosen, the called out, those who are going to hear the word of the witness, become born again of the water and the RUACH HaKodesh, and be a part of your family, the establishing of this kingdom. Abba Yahuwah, I give you praise. I thank you for honoring your word in the Shamayim. Demons and devils, I command you to loose, take your hands off the people of Yahuwah. Those that Yahuwah has chosen. Those only that Yahuwah has chosen. Those that Yahuwah has established to be a part of his kingdom. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, I declare it to be so because Yahuwah has said I have power. I have exousia and dunamos, and I operate in this delegated authority. So I command you to loose Yahuwah's people. Abba Yahuwah, I pray that you would move supernaturally by your word. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuwah, my strength and my redeemer. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, listen, we are under a perpetual attack. Hasatan, demons and devils are relentless. And they're not going to stop until they feel as if they have gotten or reestablished a stronghold on you, or they have gotten you away from the ToRaH and the Besorah of truth. It's going to be relentless. Don't expect Hasatan, don't expect demons and devils to take a break. Don't expect spiritual wickedness and darknesses to take a break, because they're not. You are going to be under a barrage. Hasatan is going to amp it up. Hasatan is going to amp up every possible scenario attack on your mind. He's playing for keeps. See, I understand he's not caring, or he's not even interested in those that he has, because he already has them, right? But you that are the chosen, he ain't really worried about the called. Because see, the called is just those who understand that there is something that is there, that is truth, that requires attention, right? Yahuwah called us. It required our attention. We had to have an ear to hear what the RUACH was saying, right? And if we received and gravitated from just being the called to those who are born of the water and the RUACH HaKodesh moving into the chosen, right? Then Hasatan has a strategic assault that he is going to wage on us. We under attack. The kingdom suffers violence. The violent take by force. Now, see now, Hasatan don't know who his chosen is, so he has launched his attack on the nation of Yashar first. Because, you know, most of these other nations are already tied into their elves, their Jesuses, their lords, their Baals, their Nimrods, their all of these other elves. They're already attached to them. They're in them. You know, they celebrating all of these pagan holidays. They're in them. They're walking around stones, right? They're calling on Allah. You know. But see, Hasatan already has them. You know, he ain't worried about them. And even if he has some that suffers casualties, he doesn't care. Yeah, but them Hebrews, those Israelites, those that have been the chosen, those that are of the seed of Yaakov, right? This Yashar, this Yahudah. Yahuwah has sent forth the call, right? But it's not until you move into the quickening, until you come to a place where you have he quickened who were once dead in trespasses and sins, where in times past you walked a certain way. It was according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, that RUACH Hasatan that now works in the children of disobedience. You were called. Yahuwah was saying to you, listen, you are not made for this. You're not made for that worship. You're not made for those dedicated things. You are made for me, but you must turn. You must turn. I'm waking you up. I'm shaking the foundations. I'm revealing who you are, but it's not just enough to know that you are Yaakov. You have to cross over into the quickening. You have to be born again. You have to have clean water sprinkled on you. You have to have a new heart. You have to experience a rebirth. It has to occur. And then once you do, listen, you become that glow. You become that identified man and woman of Yahuwah that has been snatched from the kingdom of Hasatan and placed under a whole different dominion, a whole different rulership, a rulership and a dominion that comes with power and authority that has been given to you, because this Yahusha HaMashiach, your kinsman redeemer, the word made flesh, became a propitiation for your sin. He stood in your place. He was that became the sacrifice. Yahudah said it like this: behold the Lamb of Yahuwah that taketh away the sins of the world. Our Alua Yahuwah in his Yeshua, Yahusha, has brought us into this new kingdom of operation. The kingdom itself is violence. Satan has launched an attack on all this, right? Because he don't know who gonna be the chosen. He just targeted the call. He just targeted the called, not the chosen. He targeted it, the called. The woman is in travail. She is the called. She is Jacob's seed. She's trying to birth forth, rebirth, born again, bring forth a nation under the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, of the water and of the RUACH HaKodesh. But see, Satan, with demons and devils, they launched an attack, right? Right? Now, granted, understand this. From the time of Yahushua HaMashiach, the kingdom has come. And it's in a perpetual state of moving forward. Because the kingdom is in us, in the Ruach of Yahuwah. Listen, there's a physical manifestation of a kingdom to the earth. But listen, that which is in the kingdom is in us. Because we have the Ruach of Yahuwah. Yes, it's in measure, but it's still us in him. Him in us. Right? Satan knows who we are. He can identify us. He knows the glow. All these people walk around in darkness. But see, those who are in Yahuwah's witness, who have been born again of the water and the RUACH HaKodesh, has a glow. They have a glory glow. Right? You can't see it in the naked eye, but see, in the realm the Satan is, all these demons and devils know when we walk by. There's an attack against you. Oh yeah. Because now he identifies you. He gonna still assault the woman. But he's coming after you. Right? Because you got power. You got authority. You have keys to the Shamayim. You got power to cast him out. It's a travesty how Christianity has made a mockery of Yahuwah's RUACH HaKodesh. It's travesty, right? Because now you got people who won't even receive the RUACH of Yahuwah with signs following. Because Christianity has profaned it. They had people like Benny Hinn blowing on people and waving shirts and jackets and doing crazy stuff and having people under these evil ruachs move. And then only to find out that he said he lied. Couldn't do it no more. Listen, it's a travesty. It's a travesty. We in our own way, we have literally canceled the demonstration of Yahuwah's Ruach in our lives because of the stuff that we have witnessed that was all based on lies. Yahusha said, these signs shall follow them that believe in my name. They shall cast out devils. In my name, they shall speak with new tongues. And you got people in the churches, you know, ba 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 da ba ba da ba 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 ba, all that crazy mess. Right. But they don't have the RUACH of Yahuwah. They're not speaking in the RUACH HaKodesh of Yahuwah with tongues. Mockery. Right? Mockery. People that can just cuss at will. Just cuss. Pastors and preachers cussers, fornicators. Healing service. He said, these signs shall find them that believe in my name. They shall cast out devils. They will speak with new tongues. They will take up serpents if they drink. And these idiots dance around with snakes. Talking about we taking up serpents. Mockery. They drink any deadly thing and shall not hurt them. Mockery. They shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. Mockery. They used the people of Yahuwah. They used the people and fleeced them and made them pay for their healing. Peter Popoff. All of them. Every single one of them have made a mockery of the RUACH HaKodesh, the power of Yahuwah. That which gives you the glow, that which gives you the power. That which brings you the authority. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, to do the work. The signs that follow them who have Amunah in the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. Listen, if you have Amunah in the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, you should be walking in demonstration. Right? Now we want to parade around in our Hebrew garb and our Hebrew bonnets. Zeets, fringes, and all that stuff is for us. But no demonstration of power. No demonstration of power. Hasatan is going to ravish. He's going to bring you to nothing. The mind. The attack is on the mind. It's on the mind. See, when you get busy working the work of Yahuwah, and you begin to speak things and call things to be not as though they were, you begin to see the manifestations of the power of Yahuwah. When you begin to make these evil demons and devils and these ruachs subject to the authority that Yahuwah has given you in the name of Yahushua Mashiach, you see things happen. Excuse me. You see the hand of Yahuwah move. You see the demonstration of his power. You see the manifestation of this witness. Hasatan is going to go full out assault on your mind. I give my aunt did a lesson. The distracted heart. Hasatan is going to distract you in every way possible. He is going to move, he's going to try to move you away from this witness. this. He's going to have you believing a lie if you do not guard your mind. If you do not renew, transform your mind, you are going to be distracted, bombarded. Listen, one of the biggest distractions that has ever hit is the internet. And mainstream media. Yeah. You ain't got nothing on the internet. Because the internet is full of lies and deceit. YouTube's got plenty of YouTubers. Plenty of distraction. Alien abductions. We're being visited by aliens. We got aliens walking around in the arrets. You just got people that's got RUACH'S. You got different forms of RUACH'S. You got RUACH'S that have manifestation in certain people. So much distraction. Nobody, I don't say nobody. So much that's working against the hearts, the minds of the people. So, you know, this message is for those of you who is chosen. If Yahuwah hasn't chosen you, if you've been born again of the water and Ruach HaKodesh, this message ain't for you. You know, it's not for you, right? It's not. If you know that Yahuwah has called you, you know, listen, my cousin, actually, I go as far as to say he's probably my favorite cousin. I mean, I got cousins that I love. I mean, I love his brother. But, you know, my favorite cousin, right? You know, he tries to come down and spend time with me every year, right? One of my Achis. He's like my nephews. He's not my cousin, but, you know, in our culture, you know, if your cousin has a son, your son is going to be his nephew, even though he's still your second cousin. You know how that goes. So anyway, you know, my nephew, she's my first cousin's son, but it's, you know, he's visited me, right? And, you know, I've been praying for this Ak for a while, you know, and his son, you know, it's just took a hold of the Ruach HaKodesh. I've been through some testings and some trials, right? But it's come forth and has continued to demonstrate this witness before his father. Not Abba. He does it before Abba, but I'm talking about his physical father, the cousin that came to see me. Right? And, you know, we sit and we talking, you know, and we sharing, you know, and, you know, we was drinking the fruit of the grape, fellowshipping. And he says to me, you know, we get to talking about his son. You know, we get to talking about things. And he said, you know what? I need to get in this water. I need to be born again. I need to get this. I need the Ruach HaKodesh. Because I'm telling you, I see all this done to my son. He said, he called me down. He said, Donnie, yeah, I want you baptized. Right? I said, when you want me to do it? He said, well, can you do it today? I was like, I'm thinking, where can I take him, you know? And then, you know, because he's like, well, you know. I said, well, listen, you going back to Orlando tonight, right? I said, well, I'll meet you in the hotel. You know, I come up there the next morning, get there early, get in the hotel with you. We come into the pool. I take you in and do it in the pool. He said, Donnie, I don't want a pool. I want a lake. I want a lake like, you know, like Lance. I want water. I said, well, okay, then, well, you know, you don't have to wait because, you know, and then if we're going to do it that way, we're going to do it up there, and I'm going to get my ox and Lance and all of us, we're going to go to the water with you, and we're going to take you in together. He said, oh, okay, yeah, because, you know, I got to do something. I know. I mean, he done did too much for me, and I done did so much wrong to him, and I know I got to get I know this is, I got to do this. I got to do this. When you begin to live and speak and declare ToRaH over the lives of those of you who is chosen, in power and in demonstration, you will see manifestation. I ain't talking about this wishy-washy stuff. I'm not talking about, oh, well, you know, I'm praying that you get delivered today, and next day, oh, I'm not sure you're going to be delivered. And you know, that like a wave of the sea tossed and driven without no real sense of being anchored in Amunah. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about standing on the ToRaH. Standing on the Basura in the ToRaH, being anchored in the Word, having the Ruach HaKodesh, recognizing the authority that you have because you believe, and you speaking a ToRaH from your mouth, and you declaring a word over the people that Yahuwah has given you. I told my young aunt what his father said. He was like, oh! He was so excited. He said, yeah. I said, oh man, I've been living this demonstration in front of him, and I know he knows I've changed. I just know he see it. And I'm like, yeah, man, he sees it, because my aunt told me. He says, he told me that, his son came to the house, and he was grilling and barbecuing. He even had the little one with him, came over and they was at the house. And he told his grandson, listen, man, I made some ribs, and I got some stuff on the grill. And right, his little son, my ox son, I ended up making him a necklace, right? He wanted one so bad. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make him one. So I made him one, gave it to the father gave it to him. And, everywhere he go, he acts just like his father, right? Not 7, was he 10 years old? Around 10 years old. Just like his father. Right. So grandfather said, listen, son, I got all this in here. I want you to eat now. He says, granddad, I don't do pork. We don't do pork. We Hebrews. We keep ToRaH. We don't eat pork. So my cousin says to him, he says, all right, well, that's okay. I got some beef sausage here for you. The witness. The witness. Now, Hasatan is upset about that now. Right? Hasatan is angry. Because he's losing his grip. He's losing his grip. Don't you allow him to affect your thoughts and your mind. Don't allow him to pull you out, affect your glow, dampen your light, causing your lamps, your oil to run out. Because he's coming. He's going to be relentless. Relentless. He's not going to stop. But if you be willing and obedient, if you established in this witness, you take your rightful place and authority in the RUACH, you put 1,000 to flight. You, because you have power. You recognize this witness. You understand the necessity of fueling your lamp, making sure that there's enough oil in it, making sure that your mind is not taken captive. We don't operate without soundness of mind. We have Yahuwah's RUACH. Yahuwah has not given us the RUACH of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. See, so the RUACH HaKodesh comes in demonstration with power, with love, and a sound mind. This is the witness of Yahusha. See, you know, your mind is the battlefield. It's the battlefield. You got to fight. You got to war. You got to wage a good warfare. That's not gonna wear you down. If you let him, you allow him, he is going to wear you down, and he is going to expose you to the openness of his diabolical nature. But it don't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. Well, you know, I received the Ruach HaKodesh, the water and the blood, and you know, I'm still good. Are you reading ToRaH? Are you renewing your mind regularly with ToRaH? Are you understanding the necessity of fasting, killing your desires? Are you praying in the Ruach and praying with your understanding? Are you engaged in spiritual warfare? Do you understand the need to sing songs and spiritual songs, making melody in your heart? Do you understand the necessity, and are you actively doing these things? Because if you're not, you are going to be wide open and exposed. Hasatan wants you to trust in what you think. Hasatan wants you to trust in everybody's word. Yeah. See, that's the trickery. That's the treachery. That's why he sends you so many different things to distract your heart, to bombard your mind, to get you into this self-talk. Sometimes some of the stuff that he sends becomes so overwhelming that it becomes a distraction. It takes you off your spiritual game. You can't get taken off your spiritual game. You can't. You got to understand the necessity of staying on the grind. You gotta stay in this witness. You got to stay in this walk. You gotta stay in this word. You gotta stay renewing your mind, transforming the way you think. You gotta stay in amunah by this word that you hear coming in. The warfare. It's a battle. Of the mind. It's the battle of the mind. Hasatan wants you off your game. Let's look at Timothy, 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy 1 and 6. First Timothy 1 and 6. He says, and Shaul, an apostle of Mashiach Yahusha, by the commandments of Yahudah, our Savior, and Adonai Yahusha HaMashiach, our hope, right? 1 Timothy 1:1, 1 and 2 now. Unto Timothy, my own son in Amunah, or in this witness, right? Grace, mercy, and peace from Yahuwah, our Abba, and Adonai, Yahusha HaMashiach, our Adonai, right? He says, as I besought thee to abide still at Ephesus when I went to Macedonia, that thou mightest charge some that they teach no other doctrine. See, because, you know, there's so much that Hasatan is using to distract the heart. Distraction of the heart, right? He says, neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies and ministering questions, rather than allure edifying, which is in Amunah. He's talking about all of this other stuff, all of this other external noise, right? External noise. Listen. There has been a bunch of information that has brought to light that we are the people of Yahudah. From skull and cranial evidence, right, to blood, right, E1, B1A haplotypes, to migration patterns and ruin excavations that attaches a people to a place by this new DNA study. So much information that has validated who the people of Yahudah really are, right? Evidence that points to the regions from which they came from. Because, you know, the whole migration of people has always been occurring because of war, because of famine, because of all different things. But you can always find where your people originated if you do excavations and you take DNA samples from those bones. It's going to connect you to a place. Evidence, right? Profound. This technology, this ability to find people, to find what your people and who your people are. To find where your people were. At the time that there was excavations, you know, I have this site, My True Ancestry, right? You know, you pay into these sites. I took my DNA that I uploaded from Ancestry.com and I put it into My True Ancestry. And, you know, you pay for certain levels, which ain't a problem because the more information that you get, the more information you understand, right? You know, see, you know, I'm seeing my DNA pop up in Spain and Portugal. And then after that, it's mainly towards the southern or the East Coast, the southern South Africa, Tanzania, Kenya area, right? Then you have South Africa, you know, down there where Zulu Nation is, right? Then you got over on the other side, you know, this Bantu migration. Then you got up in the Congo and in Nigeria. All of these different places have everything to do with migration patterns, right? But you know who you are. But you know, over time, just because you know who you are doesn't necessarily mean you're in the will of Yahuwah. You become, you enter into this kingdom of Yahuwah through Yahusha HaMashiach's witness. So, you know, it's interesting to me that there is so much noise, right? So much noise, so many documentaries. And one of the first documentaries I've ever watched was Ron Dalton's, right? Hebrews the Negroes. When it came out. Downloaded it on Vimeo. I think it was Vimeo on demand. No, it was on Amazon, I think, at first. Anyway, I downloaded, watched the movies 2 or 3 hours. Then I waited for the next one, watched that one. I just absorbed this information. Some of it was so clinical, and it was even hard for me to grasp everything that he was saying, right? But there was so much evidence, right? But that evidence was not enough. I had to be brought into the witness. I had to be born again. Because he's raising up a kingdom under Hamashiach Yahusha's witness. So if I got all that information and I remain in that information alone ain't going to bring me into Yeshua. That may help me understand where I'm from, you know. And then again, you know, it becomes noise after a while. Because the objective is to reach Yashar and Yahudah with the witness. To make sure they understand that they must be born again of the water of the RUACH. You know. The witness. But see, there's so much noise. And then you got Rebirth's documentary. Then you got Thoughts, Camera, Actions. Extended Thoughts. Then you got a whole bunch of other ones. So much information out there. You got some saying Jerusalem is over here. Jerusalem is over there. Jerusalem is in Africa. It's all Africa. Africa was a big continent. It was even a continent before it was split between Syria and Africa. So much noise. So much distractions. So much information. Knowledge is increased. And what's happened? He says, and I besought thee to abide in Ephesus when I went into Macedonia, that thou might charge some that teach no other doctrine. Yahusha, all he wanted them to understand was that they needed to be born again, the water of RUACH. After that, they would receive power. You'd have needed any man to teach you. The RUACH would teach you. Yeah, you would have teachers that could teach you ToRaH, but you know what? It would all make sense. But the objective is that you be born again in this witness, and then with the information that you receive, you give it to someone else. But you got to go with that information in the power of the RUACH. See, y'all trusting in your ability to disseminate information without the leading of the RUACH. so many ways, the Hebrew culture is now just taking on a similar look of Christianity. See, because our people ain't going to get it right without the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuwah. They're not going to get it right until they understand what that means to be born again of the water of Ruach HaKodesh. They ain't going to get it right until they have that Amunah, the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. They ain't going to get it right until that woman gives birth. You have to be born again in this kingdom. You're not going to get it right. And you know what? Hasatan is just going to continue to send the noise. You're going to continue to have your heart distracted. So much to distract your heart. So much, so many things, so many people, so much information that's calculated and designed to distract your heart. You know, it got to the point where don't nobody listen to mainstream media anymore, right? You don't nobody listen to the news. They all say the same thing. Same exact thing, same exact catchphrases. You catchphrases, so you know they all on the same page. They all trying to push the same agenda. But, you know, on the World Wide Web and on the internet, man, you know, you got people pushing anything and everything. So unless you have an ear to hear through the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuwah to know when, you know, what you listen to, you should listen to, what you should listen to, what you ain't should listen to, it's it. That's why when it comes to certain people, I don't even listen to them. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, don't even send nothing in my DMs about this person or that person, or listen to this person or that person, because I don't listen to everybody. Don't send me anything in my DMs because I don't listen to people. You know, I don't do it. You know, don't send me DMs for me to come to your place. I don't do that. I'm not doing that. Unless the Ruach HaKodesh tell me to, I'm not doing that. Because I understand the importance of guarding this Ruach and guarding my thoughts and my mind. And see, I don't want you to deposit a seed. Right? Because all it takes is a little leaven. A little leaven leavens a whole lump. That's why. You know, I asked the Most High, listen, you will please take the reins of my lips and the reins of my tongue. And reign, I don't want to be the source of anyone stumbling and falling and going astray. That's why I pray that Yahuwah would allow those that he has chosen to hear this word. Because everybody ain't going to hear it. And everybody's not chosen to hear it. Everybody ain't going to hear it. Everybody ain't going to receive it. But I don't want to listen to other people. Not like that. You know, I don't put my stuff in other people's DMs. I put it on my page. I put it in my storyline. If you want to go to my story and you hear it, fine. If you want to subscribe to YouTube, go to YouTube and subscribe and you'll receive it. But you know, I ain't trying to force feed you the word that Yahuwah has given me. I'm not sticking that in your DMs. You know, I did that at first because I felt like the most I said, no, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Unless I tell you to send it to them. But otherwise, don't just give it to everybody. This noise. This distraction. He says here, he said, neither give heed to fables or endless genealogies, administer questions rather than godly edifying, which is of Amunah. It's about Amunah and godly edifying. What are we promoting? What is our purpose? We become so distracted that we don't see purpose. So we argue amongst Israel. We argue. I don't listen to nobody, so I don't have nothing to argue with anybody about. And whatever I say is because the Most High has given me to say it. I'm not just digging for anybody or anything. I just say what the Most High give me to say. And if you are His and it hits you, then make an adjustment. Because He cares enough for you to reveal a thing to you so that you can make adjustments. He says, now the end of the commandment is love out of a pure heart and of a good conscience and amunah unframed. Amunah, without control. Listen. Let's look at that word, unframed. Right? That Greek word.
Strong's G 505. Anupakritos.
Unframed, undisguised, sincere. Sincere amunah. He says here. He says. Now, he says, from which some having swerved. Hasatan is bombarding the thoughts in an attempt to get you to swerve. To move out of the way. To make a course change that's not consistent with His purpose. Just because you're traveling all over the place doesn't mean it's His purpose. Just because you're recognized by a certain thing or by a certain group of people don't mean that was His purpose. Doesn't mean that was His purpose. Next, here's a question. How many people have you brought to the witness? You who was chosen. How many people have you laid hands on, prayed for? How many people did you participate in them being in this rebirth experience? How many people, as a result of your ministry, have been born again of the water and RUACH HaKodesh? How are you effectively reaching people? See, the things that I say to you, I say to me. Because it's still about purpose. You must understand that Hasatan is assaulting the mind, right? Introducing thoughts and ideas that are not consistent with purpose by design to cause you to sway. He says, some having swerved have turned aside to vain jangling. Started out with the right purpose. Started out understanding how important it is to make sure you give the Besorah and the ToRaH of Yahusha HaMashiach. When you sang, you could hear the manifestation of the RUACH. You can sense it in your songs. You can sense the power of the RUACH going forth when you sing, when you deliver a song, or when you deliver a word. What's happened? Why have you swerved? See, hey, y'all, some of y'all ain't gonna like this, but it don't matter. Why have you swerved? You know, Shlomo swerved. Shlomo asked Yahuwah to listen. I don't know how to rule. I don't know how to judge these people. I need you to give me your Ruach HaKodesh. Give unto me now the Ruach of wisdom and knowledge. Give me the Ruach of wisdom that I might go out and come in for this people, for who can rule this great people thine. Yahuwah said, I'm going to give it to you because you've asked me for the purpose of ruling the people. But you know, he swerved. Why is this man in the earth? People started coming from all over offering money and gifts and started marrying these foreign women and making alliances with these nations through marriage and introducing their elves. Why'd you swerve? You begin to entertain some of the things that he were listening. Hasatan was feeding him ideas. You know, and then his Ruach initially, he was like, nah, I don't think that's the way I want to go. But after a while, you know, because, you know, you ain't praying like you should. You ain't been reading like you should. You ain't been fasting like you should. You haven't meditated like you should. You didn't get away like, you know, the Most High wanted you to. And as a result, you swayed. You're trying to figure out, you know, what is this? He says, and from which some having swerved, right? That means changed course. That word swerve, let's just get the Greek for it anyway, even though I can understand the idea. Deviated from the mark.
Strong's G 795.
Astaheo. You deviated from the witness. Deviated from the witness. Deviated from Yahuwah and Amunah and Yahusha HaMashiach being your message. You came up with a whole bunch of other things you doing. And now you got competition. You competing with who's going to release the next documentary. Who going get the most artists under their belt? Who's going to be doing the most collabs? Yeah. Deviated from the mark. Like Shlomo, you started entertaining stuff, but not giving priority to the discipline that comes with this witness. The discipline that's required in this RUACH HaKodesh of Yahuwah. This witness, this responsibility that comes in this witness. So you swayed, swerved. Now you missing the mark. Some, having swerved, having turned aside unto vain jangling. Vain jangling is just stuff that's not necessarily stuff that's information, but it becomes vain because it's not bringing you any closer to the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Anything that don't bring you closer to the witness, the RUACH HaKodesh, the water and the blood, is vain. Anything that you do that don't lead people to the witness, being born again of the water and the RUACH HaKodesh, is vain. Anything that you do or don't do, right, that does not demonstrate the power of Yahuwah's witness in you is vain. It's vanity. Shlomo had all those wives. It was vain. He had all wisdom and all understanding, but it became vain because he swerved. He missed the mark. He turned aside from the mark. He turned aside from the Ruach of Yahuwah. He turned aside from the witness of Yahuwah. Right? Right? Some of these people desire to be teachers of the Torah, understanding neither what they say or whereof they affirm. Want to be teachers of the Torah. See, listen, I'm going to say this point blank, period, and I don't care who likes it. If you have not received Yahuwah's Ruach HaKodesh, right? If you do not have Yahuwah's Ruach HaKodesh, if you have not been born of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh, if you don't bear in your body the Ruach HaKodesh, you ain't qualified to teach nothing or nobody. You're not qualified to teach. Because you're going to say anything. Because, your influence is not Torah, even though you think your influence is Torah. First of all, if you have been born again of water and Ruach HaKodesh, you can't teach nobody nothing. You can teach them whatever you want to teach them, academia, but that stuff doesn't matter. It's not going to bring them life. Torah, through faith and the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, the living word made flesh, that Ruach which is now in you cause you to be led and guided into all truth. Therefore, you can deliver truth under the Ruach HaKodesh. People designed to be teachers. I've never seen so many people just want to teach people. Just want to teach people. Just want to teach people. Listen, you know what? I do not do this because I just want to do this. I do this because he's instructed me to do this. Because there's some times that when I get to doing this, I be like, yo, I told you to do this. I told you to tell my people they need to stick to purpose. Because they swerving. Swerving. Straight up swerving. Swerving. You know, I pray, right? I mean, there's some ox out here that I see that are in the industry, right? That are in the music industry, Hebraic music. You know, and I pray for, right? HezekiYAH, I pray. Right? I pray that that brother never swerves from the mark. See, because I pray that he would never swerve from the mark. Right? Right, ToRaH bar. I pray that they never swerve from the mark. Understanding the importance of the Ruach HaKodesh. Understanding the importance of the witness. Understanding, I pray that they would never swerve. Never. I've been listening to Eshon Burgundy lately. You know, he came from the Christian circles. Pray that these brothers won't swerve. They won't swerve. You know, my young Ak, I admire him so much, is Ayob. Ayob, I love Ayob. I'm praying for Ayob, that Yahudah would use his ministry and his music, and that he would, by demonstration of the Ruach HaKodesh, take his music ministry to another level. I don't listen to everybody. I don't listen to everybody. I don't listen to everybody. My Lorvins. I pray that he stay the course. I pray that he don't swerve. I pray that he would continue to allow the Most High Yahudah by the Ruach HaKodesh to lead him. You know, when you were in this witness, when you truly in this witness, and you're really truly doing what Yahudah tell you to do, you ain't in a popular place. You know, you're going to have people that love your music. You're going to have people that love to hear the words you teach. You're going to have people that are just going to be faithful. I got people that tell me, that was a great word. I have people, that tell me that, man, it was wonderful. It was praise the Most High. But I don't look for that. Not at all. Because those of you who is chosen, it's going to minister to them. And my prayer is that from them, if they would be able to take it and use it for somebody else. Because, you ain't going to be loved. Only those that are born again of the water and Ruach HaKodesh that are in Yahuwah's kingdom are going to acknowledge you. They gonna identify with the Ruach HaKodesh in you. Praying for these brothers, these leaders, these elders, these Achis, these Akotis that go in. Praying that there's no division in the kingdom of Yahudah. There's no division. There's no race division. And because the Gentiles have a right to this witness. mind. Don't let your mind be distracted. Don't let your mind be distracted. Don't let your mind be distracted. I long to be on the continent, but Yahuwah don't let my mind be distracted. See, because I know in the RUACH HaKodesh, they've been trying to kill us in the United Snakes of America for years. Oh yeah, they tried to kill us with syphilis. They tried to kill us with autism. They tried to do all of this stuff to us. But I know that I'm born again in the water of RUACH HaKodesh. I know I have power over demons and devils. Oh yeah, I cast out devils. I speak with new tongues. And I'm not talking this ba 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 da ba 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 stuff. I ain't talking about that. No. What Yahuwah is giving me is a ruachal tongue. Right? I'm telling you, man, these people don't have RUACH HaKodesh. You ain't sitting up on a live broadcast, cussing and drinking, listen, I don't have a problem with the fruit of the grape. I really don't. But I'm not sitting up on no TV cussing and drinking and speaking scriptures and having people looking at me all strange. And then you gonna say, what y'all looking at me? Y'all look like y'all seen a ghost. No, they seen a devil. Don't know what to do because you the chief devil in charge. The mind is under assault. The mind is under assault, right? He says here, desiring to be teachers of the Torah, understanding neither what they say nor whereof they affirm. They don't understand what they say. They don't even understand what they affirm. Now, he was talking about these Judaizers. These were Yahudim that was going behind him, Timothy, using the Torah to undermine what was going on. They weren't born again in water, RUACH HaKodesh. They was just trying to teach Torah. They weren't established in the witness. They were just trying to undermine the work that Shaul and Timothy were accomplishing in this witness. He says, but we know that the Torah is good, right? If a man uses it lawfully. Now, the only way that a man is going to really use this Torah lawfully is by the Ruach of wisdom and revelation concerning Torah. You have to have the Ruach of Yahuwah in order to deliver the word, the Torah of Yahuwah, right, lawfully. Lawfully had nothing to do with the fact that they were religious leaders and they had the right to deliver the Torah. No. You who were born again of the water and the RUACH HaKodesh have the right to deliver the Torah. And I guarantee you something, you better take that Torah and renew, transform, hear and establish, anchor yourself in Amunah, right? Because you are under constant attack. And Hasatan, all he's trying to do is get you to swerve. See, because if he can get you off in that swerve pattern long enough, and you don't keep your oil and your lamp full, you're going to be running around here doing things, and you're going to look and you say, oh, bridegroom done came. Well, Yahuwah, you left me. Or you're so caught up, right, that you ain't discerning the times. You've had opportunities to flee Babylon, but you gonna hang around. Oh, man. Why would anybody want to stay in Babylon? You know, it's interesting, right? Because, you know, I do listen to a lot of the news on the continent. You know, because I like to know what's happening on the African continent. So I listen to brothers and sisters on the African continent that bring content from the continent, from the various presidents and the things that they're standing against, you know, on the continent, you know. Yeah, they standing against that alphabet organization. Trying to impose their social norms on the continent. They be like, listen, man, y'all do you. We don't come over there messing with y'all. We don't tell y'all what y'all need to change. Don't come over here telling us what we need to do. That day is over. That was colonial. This ain't that no more, right? But, you know, the information on the continent. Right? It's important to understand that you're Yaakov, right? You're the 12 tribes, right? We understand that Yahudim were taken, right? We understand that they were scattered. We understand that we have to go home. We have to defend the interest of our brethren. We don't go back because they're yelling at us, come on, come on, come on. We go back because we have instructions from our father, Yaakov, who gave us specific instructions, the nation of Yahudah. Somebody says, well, how do you know you Yahudah? Well, I tell you what. It makes sense to me to go. It makes sense to me that my people were taken. It makes sense to me because in the lands from which we were taken was called, which means that they were specifically understanding the people that were from where they were and who they were. So, you know, that's the way it is. Yashar, Yahudah. Got to go back. See, but you know, if you're not careful, right, you know, you ain't maintained that relationship, that RUACH connectivity, that transformation of the mind. And if you're not careful, you'll swerve. You'll swerve. I'm staying. I'm staying. I'm staying because I'm waiting for reparations. Swerve. Yeah, Yahuwah said he'll give us the treasures of darkness, the hidden riches of secret place. Yeah, he sure will. If your Amunah's there. And if your Amunah's there, your Amunah's in Yahuwah to give it to you. So I ain't looking for reparations from this nation. I'm looking for I'm looking for Yahuwah to reward me with the treasures of darkness, the hidden riches of secret places, because I recognize who he is and who I am. And he's going to give me everything I need to get the job done. He is going to provide me everything I need to get the job done. Because all I got to do is ask. But see, I understand this because I understand that I got to keep my heart from the distractions. You got to keep yourself from distractions. You can't be a distracted heart. You got to understand that Hasatan has launched a barrage of information and misinformation. You know, I was listening to B'nai Israel's more recent word, right? I was listening to him and thinking, man, you know, these brothers have done wonders in bringing forth information. Wonders. Getting to the root of things. But okay. How do we get people to be born again of the water and RUACH HaKodesh? I mean, I done launched into every DNA website, and they all sponsored by them people, and they all got their own crazy, of course there's genetic distancing. I understand that. I understand that, closer relatives or genetic distance is going to be this, and those that aren't are going to be this. Right? Understand that. I understand that right now, I'm 50%, almost 50%, according to Ancestry.com, Nigerian. I was taken out of Nigeria. Or I'm from Nigeria, which was still Negro land. Or my people, the people that I'm largely from. And you go to African Ancestry, they put me off in Gabon in the car. I'm a 99 some percent match with the people of Gabon. Right next to the Republic of Congo, on the east coast of Africa. Gabon, and I'm gonna have feet there too, right? But also too, my deeper ancestry got me in Zululand. 70% Zululand migration, and not to mention Tanzania and Kenya. Kador! Kador going down! My dog. She ain't did that in a while. But I got people that dug up the backyard and broke the fence, because we had a big privacy fence up there before. And they got a whole section out of the fence now, so now she just over there. Because they in there working and anywho. Information. What's true, what's not? What are they manipulating that has everything to do with my DNA? I ain't worried about nobody making no clones of me. I ain't worried about none of that, because that stuff ain't gonna stand up. Look, this anointed Yahudim, this anointed man of Yahuwah, is Yahuwah's arm. Right? 74% Zulu. I did this new, because I listened to Benea, and I said, let me try this. Let me look into this. Let me look into the one that he just spoke about, right? Checking my distance and where, what percentage am I of this particular group of people? 74%. It's interesting because the percentage of the people that I'm attached to at that time in that location, right, were warriors, defenders. I'm a guardian. I was committed to that. I was resolved that that's what I had to do. I had to do this. I pursued it in the military. I pursued it in in life when I was growing up. But, they wanted me to be a firefighter. They didn't want to put a black man right. They were trying to put black people in law enforcement. So, it was what it was. So much information that's hitting the mind. confusion of heart to pull you away, to swerve you. I said, I give you praise. Oh, yeah. Tanzania. I was in Tanzania. So the migration was from Africa down somewhere in the south, Tanzania, Kenya, Tanzania, down into Zulu Nation. Then over across South Africa, Bantu, that area, then up towards Nigeria, where ancestry says most of my DNA is. But African ancestry says it's Gabon. Because they are people, it's supposed to, But I don't necessarily. Migration. That means nothing if I'm not born again of the water of RUACH. See, I want to go back to the continent so I can fulfill that which Yahuwah has called me to do. To fight for the nation. Fight for the nation. I'm still well able to go in and possess the land. And I'm not talking about possessing the land and taking it from a people. I'm talking about us together going back to the continent, right? And up until the time that Yahuwah gathers everybody and brings us to our land. His land. Because, we got to go. United Snakes of America is going to fall. Babylon is going to fall. I ain't predicting no years, no times, no days. I'm just saying Yahuwah's giving you an opportunity to prepare. Get your mind right. Stop swerving. Stop swerving. Understand the purpose. Stay on purpose. Stay on task. Stay on purpose. Stay on task. He says here, listen. Kadar! Shut up and go lay down! Now! Sorry. He says, but we know that the law is good if a man uses it lawfully, right? Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man, but for a lawless and disobedient, for the ungodly, for the sinner, for the unholy, for the unprofane, for murders of fathers and mothers, for manslayers, for whoremongers, right? He says, for them that defile themselves with mankind. Right. So much noise. Hasatan's attacks is on the mind. And again, sometimes, you have to understand that the attack is subtle. Hasatan didn't run up to Eve and say, listen, did Yahuwah say you can't eat of that tree that's in the midst of the garden right there? The one that he said that was good and evil and all of that. Did he say that? No, he didn't come like that. He said, hey, Eve, did Yahuwah say you can't eat of any of the trees that are in the garden? He knew what Yahuwah said to them. No, Yahuwah never said we couldn't eat of the trees of the garden. He just said not eat of the tree that's in the midst of the garden, because the day we eat of that tree, right, if we touch it, we're going to die. Yahuwah said that? Listen, you won't surely die. Yahuwah actually knows that the day you eat of that tree, you'll be like him. Else, knowing good and evil. Satan's attack on the mind, right? His attack on his mind is gradual. It's enough to get you to be comfortable, thinking that you got enough oil in your lamps, thinking that you don't need to fast today, you don't need to pray today, you don't need to read today, you can get by. I ain't got to sweat nothing today, you know, I'm good. I ain't got to get that word today. I ain't got to deliver a ToRaH today. I ain't got to do that. I can kick back and relax. He gave you the Shabbat. Just spend some time with him and then kick back and do what you. Excuse me. Kadar, what did I say? Get in here and lay down. Yeah. She a beast now, right? I got her because of the change of the climates. And I don't mean like weather. I'm talking about the way the age is. You know, people just try to run up on you. You know, you ain't running up in my house. You ain't running up on my yard. You ain't running up on nothing. Listen. The mind. You have to understand how Satan is out to attack, assault, and gradually burn your lamp's oil out to get you to swerve, to get you off task. Yahuwah. Hasatan wants you tormented in your mind. He is a master of mind games. Hasatan is a master of mind games. He can twist scriptures. He can distort and confuse situations and circumstances. Right? He can assault your mental. But you got to be strong. My Achi, Bar. He said it's assault on your mental. But you got to be strong and of a good courage. Yahuwah is with you. You got to do that thing which is necessary. You got to pray. You got to fast. You got to seek the Most High. You have to seek the Most High. You have to seek the Most High, Yahuwah, Lord. In Amunah, in the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach. The assault is on your mental. Right? Let's look at Psalms 31. Let me pull Psalms 31 real quick. Is it Psalms 31? Maybe it's not Psalms 31. Let me see how to look this up. Yeah, that's Psalms. Psalms 31. Let's go. Yeah, this Psalms. Psalms. All right, let's do this. Psalms 31, 1 through 6. Right? He says, "Oh, Yahuwah, do I put my trust? Oh, Yahuwah, do I put my trust? Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in thy righteousness." Deliver me, Yahuwah. Right? Right? "Bow down thine ear to me. Deliver me speedily. And be thou my strong rock. For an house of defense save me. For thou art my rock and my fortress. Therefore, thy name's sake, lead me and guide me." Right? He says here, listen. "Lead me and guide me. Pull me out of the net that they have laid privately for me, for thou art my strength. And to thy hand I commit my RUACH. Thou hast redeemed, O Yahuwah, Alua of truth. I have hated them that lie regarding lying vanities, but I put my trust in you." Right? "I will be glad and rejoice in thy mercy, for thou hast considered my trouble, and thou hast known my soul adversity." Now, gotta trust in you. You gotta maintain your amunah in the process. You gotta stay the course. Because there's going to be some stuff that's going to come against you. You got lying lips. You got information. You got disinformation. You got all these things that are designed to distract your heart, to pull you in the wrong direction. But you have to do what is necessary to establish and anchor yourself in purpose. To anchor yourself in purpose. Not being swayed, not be distracted, not being pulled from the right or to the left, but anchored in purpose. You have to understand this. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, Hasatan is relentless. And Hasatan ain't giving up. He ain't letting go. He ain't interested in those that he already has. Right? He's not even really concerned about the called. Because there's still so much misinformation and disinformation even amongst Israel. The woman in travail. He's been trying to kill her because he understands that eventually that there was going to come a time when, there was going to be some birthed forth out of that woman that was going to be the kingdom seed. Born again of the water of RUACH, the witness. He knew this. He's out to distract you, to get you to swerve. You got to keep this sharp. You have to keep this heart established. You have to be renewed in the RUACH of your mind. You have to be transformed in the renewing of your mind. You have to hear the word of Yahuwah, because in hearing the word, Amunah comes. You have to pray, because in operation by demonstration, 1 puts 1,000 to flight, 2 puts 10,000 to flight. You have to operate in the gifts. These signs follow them to believe. You have to be that which brings forth the kingdom. All these other things are just designed to get you to swerve. These teachings, this information, this disinformation is all designed to get you to swerve. To take you off your game. Take you away from the purpose of you. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, listen, we're going to close there. The mind, the mind, the mind, the mind. The mind of Yahuwah is a terrible thing to waste. The mind, the RUACH, Yahuwah, the oil in your lamp, it's a terrible thing to waste. And I ain't talking about this unregenerate mind, because, you know, that's the playground of Hasatan. Whatever Hasatan brings to that mind, you're going to do. I'm talking about that supernatural, power-filled, renewed mind that is in Yahusha Hamashiach. Let this mind that was in Hamashiach Yahusha be in you. He didn't think it was robbery to be equal with Yahuwah, but made himself like unto sinful men. And then made available to you the opportunity to experience Yahuwah in you and the new birth. Gave you the opportunity to do what he did in order to reach your brethren for this witness. Hasatan wants to distract you. He wants to distract the mind. What you gonna do, bro? Are you gonna swerve? You gonna swerve? Or are you going to get into your secret place? You going to close some people off and close some things down and seek the Most High, waiting for him to give you a word of direction and understanding? Or are you just going to get fed the noise? Or you ain't going to fill your lamp? You're going to swerve and become shipwrecked. Abba Yahuwah, in the name of Yahusha Mashiach, I give you praise for your word, your Besor, your Torah truth. Abba, I pray that you would continue to use me according to your word. Again, I thank you for not allowing me to cause anyone to stumble, anyone to be turned out of the way, anyone to come up lame. Abba Yahuwah, I love ox, I love Akotis, I love elders, I love Emas, I love Morehs, I love Morahs in this witness, in this kingdom. Abba Yahuwah, I pray that you would strengthen them. I pray that you would strengthen them. In the name of Yahushua Mashiach, words of my mouth, meditation, my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuwah, my strength and my redeemer. Man of Yah, called the greatness, woman of Yahuwah, beautifully and wonderfully made today, Yahuwah has favored you. Walk in that favor, understand the purpose that Yahuwah has given you, the purpose. Don't be distracted. Don't be swayed from purpose. There's a lot of stuff that's coming into the mind. There's a lot of things that are affecting the heart, distracting the heart. But don't let it. With that I say, listen, shalom, 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 and be blessed.
ToRaH Guardian, speaking the absolute truth. ToRaH Nation.